Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rexon, and I am joined, as always, by friend and co-host.
I'm not even going to make the joke this time, but it's been like a month. Rowan, you might know me as Mocha.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, especially in the last couple of weeks, which is obviously why we've had no episodes since Pokemon Day. Life has just been hitting all of us hard, I think. You've got work stuff. I've had work stuff. Sheldon has work stuff.
And
school
and
stuff.
work stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Work has finally lightened up. At least for the next couple of weeks. So I guarantee I'll be here for the next couple of weeks.
Hey, yeah. I will hold you to that. Yeah, so literally a lot is happening. Has happened. A lot is about to happen. We are. Did you catch wind that there's a direct tomorrow?
Yes, I did. Apparently, so it won't. I don't think it's going to be Pokemon related. And they have specifically said it will have no Nintendo Switch 2 news. But there will be a Switch 2 Direct the following week, I believe. Yeah,
and you know for sure people will be like, "Where's the Switch 2 stuff in the Direct tomorrow?" Noting we're recording this before the Direct, so we're not going to have any commentary on that. So hopefully it's cool. I'm looking forward to that Kirby game that's definitely going to be announced because Kirby heralds the end of Nintendo consoles. Like every time a Nintendo console has been like shut down, it was like a month or two before.
Like, oh yeah, we were making this thing. Yeah.
So here's a Kirby game. It's probably the current rumors are a remake of Planet Robobot, which will be fun.
Can I just have a remake of Crystal Shards already? Like,
please.
That's what my heart wants. Like, everyone is just N64 nostalgia. Everyone is my age, by the way.
That's true.
Yeah.
Agreed. Because I am also about your age. But no, it's on NSO, so it's playable on the Switch.
Crystal Shards?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've played it on emulators like 100 times at this point. I don't need it, but I do want it.
Yeah,
I would want a remastered version for it to be worth playing through again, because getting all the shards is a bit of a pain. But
I do want a remastered version of that. That was so good. They've done like copyability merging, combining stuff before, but it's not been. I mean, since then, it's not been as good as Crystal Shards.
And that was on the 64, right? Like, you have to imagine that, like, current year of our Lord, they could make like untold numbers of combinations of elements that you could like have pretty cool combinations out of. Like,
that's very true.
What does what? Yeah. The only problem is I feel like modern day, like internet walkthroughs, people would find like the optimal killing combo for any given level and just like ruin the game for you.
It's a Kirby game. You don't need the optimal. Oh my gosh. I mean, you're right. Don't get me wrong. There'll be like a how to beat Kirby and the Crystal Shards 2 in under 5
seconds,
minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a tangent I didn't expect, and that was we had just started the podcast and already tangenting.
I don't think there's even a main topic to tangent off of.
We don't. Yeah, that's true. We don't have that.
So I do want to talk about. I know you all discussed it a little bit while I was gone, but I want to talk about Champions. Because it could also just be like, okay, so there's two possibilities, right? Three, two, and then one is and then like subsets of one of them. The first one is that this is just the pocket to VGC, and that this is going to be a stripped down, cartoony version of VGC in order to get people into it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, and that's a good point.
Yeah, it's very possible, because I suspect that this is like a result of them seeing how popular Pocket is, and it's like, what if we made a like less intimidating version of this complicated game that everybody loves from their childhood? And
do you think that's the case? Mobile? Do you think that I
do not. I personally do not think it's the case, because they showed both Terra and Megas on the trailer. That implies to me complexity. Gimmicks are not simple. Gimmicks are not like they aren't nostalgia bait. Maybe we are at the point where people have nostalgia for Mega since they came out in 2014. But I'm gonna hold on to my old man copium and say nobody has nostalgia for Megas.
No. People definitely have nostalgia for Megas. That's like
childhood nostalgia, or just I want it back.
It's close. Okay. It's close. It's been a decade.
Outside of this copium, I feel like people our age actually have money to spend, and people 10 years younger than us were just screwed by the world. So like we're the target demo. So like,
yeah, absolutely true.
Give me that's why they had Mega Charizard on the trailer. I'm just saying. But
yeah,
no. So my guess is that it is going to be real VGC, with multiple gimmicks, at least Terra and Megas. I think Terra and Megas are the two that could coexist. Z moves maybe. Dynamax. I love Dynamax. Hot take, but it probably just won't mesh. I think it's just a level of power higher than the others.
Agreed.
So it like if I get to choose between doubling my HP and having extra base stats, I'm probably taking doubling my HP and base 140.
Oh yeah.
Never miss moves that cause
and
weather.
Z moves are better than Z moves almost.
Yeah, so much better than Z moves. Like it's like Z moves can like the same way that you could protect most of a Dynamax move, you could protect most of a Z move too, and then but then you get 2 more with Dynamax, right? Like it just seems anyway. You'll get at least those 2 gimmicks. I think that it is actually going to end up replacing VGC as a whole. Do you remember like we were talking about ages ago? Like what if they made a dedicated VGC battling app so that the single player games can be creative and do whatever they want and not worry about stepping on competitive's toes? I think that's exactly what's happening here. Yeah, at least I hope that's what's happening here. And once you put it on mobile, I think the only negative thing that can come of this, 2 negative things. One,
you keep adding to your
list. I'm a cynic. Okay, 2 negative things. The first one is that in theory they could make it not so easy to make competitive mons. Like they really need to. Like if they want this to catch on, it needs to be extremely simple to toss a team together. Maybe you don't literally type the EVs in, but like it needs to be very low barrier to entry. And then the second thing is this might be their impetus to finally go after Showdown legally.
So my immediate thoughts to shoot down what you first said and what that you don't agree with anyway, like the first possibility you mentioned. I don't think that this has been in development for way longer than Pocket, right?
Do we know that?
I have to imagine with how much they're pushing it already and what they showed. Like it was just a trailer, and I guess you could like CG that pretty quickly if you wanted to.
those were just the standard models. Those were the models that have existed since the 3DS.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine that's the case, and certainly I hope it's the case. It just seems to me that if in response to Pocket would have been too fast of a turnaround.
That might be true. Well, I mean,
most.
you can slap a trailer together and then do all the work for the next 2 years, right?
Yeah, I guess that's okay. We don't have a release date for it or even window for it. So I guess
the current like community, I think it's kind of cope. I think it's going to take more than a year. But the current community guess is that we're going to play 2026 Worlds on Champions.
I would love that, and I hope it's the case. And okay. If it does come out and we're playing 26 on Champions, then yes, it was in development before the release of Pocket. Otherwise,
so yeah, no, I'm so ready to get off of Scarlet and Violet. Like this is already like okay. My personal take, I'm kind of over terrestrialization at this point. I don't like it for a few reasons, but I mean, take my opinion with a grain of salt because I like Dynamax. So like obviously I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm just, even with or without Terra, I am so done with Scarlet and Violet as games. Like, I know that we've complained about the performance or whatever. I played the GC this past weekend, but I played one day. I went 13-2, got enough points for top 256, and then just put it down for the weekend so I could go have fun. And I don't regret that at all. I had a great weekend, and it was plus 50 points, so, like, yay. But
nice.
2 of my losses. One of them was to Pengy, who made the team that I played with, so I didn't feel too bad about that one. The other one was to my game crashing on turn 2 when I was in a winning position.
Yeah, that sounds
right. And that happened to multiple people. I saw on Twitter, apparently that happened to a lot of people. It was not like just some one-off thing. Like, a ton of people had their games crash in exactly this way, with exactly this error screen. Like, not like, oh, you've disconnected because our netcode is bad. It is. But no, just the whole game, like, out of memory, like null pointer, something, I don't know. Like the fact that it happened to all these people specifically during the GC makes me think it was triggered by the server somehow in like a way that the game couldn't handle it. Like, but there's such a garbage made game.
Yeah, we've definitely beat this horse
to death.
And I totally agree. Like it sucks. I'm looking forward to Atlanta and NAIC. But not
to hang out with people Pokemon. At this point, man. Like, truly. And obviously, I'm not gunning for Worlds. I'm not trying that hard.
I
But
have pretended to start practicing.
If you have a game that is continuously developed, has a team of developers whose job is to maintain it, then anytime these kinds of things happen, it will hopefully be fixed. And on top of that, hopefully they have really basic features like reconnect and restoring game state.
Well, so I'm hoping,
if that's the whole game is battling, right?
Right. Yeah. Yes. That's the whole game would be battling champions. So I'm hoping that they put out Scarlet and Violet. They saw the boom to VGC that it has been in the last couple of years, and then they also saw how Cricketune, their game is
still not going down. By the way, when I was at EUIC, biggest tournament of all time.
Yeah.
What is this? 3 or 4 years into the game's
and every year there is a biggest tournament of all time.
It's still getting higher. It was 1,100 Masters.
That is wild, right?
Yeah.
And for all you TCG people, like, yeah,
ever hit the 1024 kicker.
Oh, good point. We do need to talk about London at some point.
London was fun. I'm a little miffed at myself. I lost 3 matches. 1 to the worst RNG I've ever experienced in my life, and the other 2 were to like matchups I didn't know were really negative, but they were.
Oh, okay.
I missed 3 consecutive icicle crashes, which made me incredibly upset.
Yeah, that's
90% is a lie that they tell you at Big Chen Pao. I don't know, like
Big Chen Pao is against us all. Rigging the numbers, lobbying.
It was round 2, so it did make me a little upset about flying all the way to London, but we pulled it back for points at least. So that wasn't terrible.
Yeah. Where are you sitting for Worlds?
On the borderline. So right now, I have 1 empty. I'm like, I think 5. I'm like 5 or 10 down from the borderline right now. Like away from it on the correct side. I have 1 empty slot for majors. And then 1 major that I only earn 60 points at, so I could bump that up.
Okay.
And then I can and then I have 1 GC that I only earn 20 points at, or 35. I don't know. 1 GC that I can push up to more points as well. So there's definitely room to push up my number a little bit on all those. But I think I'm most likely going to need a day 2 in 1 of the remaining majors. So I'm going to go to a bunch, and if I get it, awesome. If not, I had fun.
You're going to Atlanta, obviously.
I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to Milwaukee, which...
You are going to Milwaukee?
Yeah, which is the first major of Reg E, which we will find out what that is next week. Should be exciting.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was a date for that.
Yeah, it's usually the first week of the month before it starts.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we won't know for 100%, but if they follow the pattern they've done for the past since Scarlet and Violet came out.
It hasn't been announced yet, but that's the presumption.
Yeah, we're assuming it's double restricted, but after Reg H, who knows, right? Like, it could be anything.
Yeah.
And then NAIC, of course, and in the middle there, I may go to Portland.
Ooh, okay.
Because honestly, Milwaukee, like, Wisconsin's a very, like, it's a very cool state. There's something to do there, necessarily. Portland, on the other hand, I have wanted to go to for a while anyway. Like, so.
I mean, ask Kevin and Bruno. We had a fun time in Milwaukee last year.
Did you really? Oh, so this is the flamethrower guy, right?
Yeah.
I refuse to elaborate for the audience. But...
No. Go find that episode from a year ago. It's somewhere.
They got held up in their Uber by someone with a flamethrower.
Well, you just elaborated for everyone else.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Okay. It was quite the story. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be fun. Bruno did ping us in our Discord and was like, "Hey, Harrison, Kevin, you want to redo of Milwaukee?" And I'm like,
I'd rather die.
No.
I might die if I go.
It's questionable at best. Cool. Yeah, that's exciting. I know you're pushing for Worlds. Bruno's pushing for Worlds, and
Bruno's pushing harder than me, honestly, at this point. I would love to. I'm going to try my best, but I'm kind of at the point where, like, maybe this will change, right? Because this past work crunching me to the point that I couldn't do this has also done that to VGC, right? It's like I'm making it out to these events, but I have not put in the work that I need to. Like, a significant amount, but not what is required to perform well. Because people are just getting better and better, and the margins for winning and losing are really slim, especially in Reg G. I feel like there's no room for mistakes in any given game anymore.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I've not nearly kept up as much as I would like to have, but that's just that's who I am now.
I would personally be extremely pleased if Reg E ends up being some wacky not double restricted thing, and they hold on to double restricted for the final year. Because
H with
Paradox would be
Paradox, H with Treasures and Paradox. That'd be cool.
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah, whatever we want to do to lower. I enjoyed the lower power level. I had a great time at the beginning of H. I had a great time at the end of H. I struggled somewhere in the middle there, but it's fine. I had a lot of fun in there. If you forget that Sneasler existed.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, we'll see. I'm looking forward to Champions because I think that I want to know how they're going to adapt VGC as a whole into Champions, right? So obviously all the questions of we have multiple gimmicks. They can change it more regularly. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, they're realizing how marketable megas are again, right?
It's sure.
We can talk about Legends ZA had a. Do we want to make this a leaks episode? Should we wait for Sheldon?
No, let's wait. Wait for Sheldon and someone else. We can.
Okay, I will not mention any specific leaks. All I will say is we already know without leaks that Legends ZA will have megas.
Yes, that was announced.
And you can extrapolate just by having a brainstem that there will be new megas. We have been leaked what some of those new megas will be. I won't say what they are yet.
Theoretically, all of them? Is that? I thought that was the.
We're getting all of them. We're getting a bunch of new ones too.
No. I'm saying the leak. I thought
theoretically we have gotten
all
at least the count and a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's going to be a ton of new megas with this. I would be shocked if Gen 10 is not also megas and even more. People just love that. It's regional forms, but better. It's the things that people have nostalgia for, but it's also a new twist and it's also busted. It's just all the things that you can sell stuff really easily with, right?
Right. So you admit that it's nostalgia for megas.
No, okay, it's nostalgia for not megas, and you turn them into megas.
Okay, fine. Okay. I see your point. Yes, but I don't think people have nostalgia for mega for. Oh wait, I almost said Amon. Never mind. Ignore me. I can't use that argument here. We decided no leaks.
I do think that there are a bunch of them that are questionable from what I've seen in the leaks. It's who is excited for this? But maybe they'll knock the design out of the park. Who was excited for Mega Mawile, but then ended up being a fan favorite?
Yeah,
so,
it's a good one. Yeah. So that was pre-show. We said we don't have to talk about VGC, and now we talk about VGC. So
yeah.
We want to talk about Champions because I think that was pretty much the most exciting thing that came from Pokemon Day.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Everything else was we knew ZA was coming. It was great to see gameplay out of it for sure. I enjoyed it looks good. It looks better than Arceus visually, and there's a new combat system that's real time, which is exactly the kind of thing you get to do with Champions coming out. And it had a good frame rate. Dear God, it did not stutter.
Okay, so 2 things on that. 1, trailer. Hopefully that.
But it was gameplay in the trailer, and yes, you can say that it was run on a computer. Sure, it probably was. However, they still showed the horrific stuttering of those Sunflora, even in the trailer for Scarlet and Violet.
That's a good point.
So, I'm getting the feeling that they don't even care enough to make this run on a nicer machine to fake it.
Well, but the nicer machine could be the Switch 2.
That's right.
Yeah, that's coming out very soon. And by very soon, I mean, it's coming out this year, but next week is the actual direct for the Switch 2, and I'm excited. I'm so excited to that day, or I guess that evening, we'll probably record the episode for that week.
That sounds about
right. Wednesday.
The direct will be in the morning.
Yeah, Wednesday morning.
Perfect.
So there'll be lots of time to talk about things, and that's also going to be after the direct tomorrow, so we can say goodbye to the Switch 1, hello to the Switch 2. Hopefully we'll know when the release date is.
I will be pre-ordering that. I will be fighting orphans to get my hands on a launch model. I do not care.
Yeah, I mean, launch models for many reasons. Not least
that I'm going to be able to gen things with it eventually.
I want, gen things, and I want to play it.
But any hardware exploits will probably only work on the first couple models. So get the early one.
Yeah, correct. So that's a thing that you're aware of more than I was with my original Switch, which I sold and then fought tooth and nail to get a new old one. Shout out to my best friend who sent me one. It's very good. There's a gazillion of them apparently already stateside.
Yeah, I think they understand from the first launch. So it's they can have as much inventory as they can physically make, and it will still sell.
A lot of
there's
journalists,
no reason to be timid about it.
a lot of journalists have said that this is like they're gearing up for the biggest launch of any console, period.
Yeah, I mean, like, not even to like put politics on this, but like tariffs are potentially coming, so you want to get them all here now.
That's a good point. If you get them all in before the tariffs, you've already imported them. You don't have to,
because anything that comes after that is going to be marked up 20-30%, something insane, right? So like, I can drop $700 on a Switch 2. I will. Don't tempt me. But like, most people
it's
won't.
Not a tempt. It's wrong use of word. Yeah, that's a very good point. That would be why they preloaded stores and warehouses with them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to know what the price is going to be and how it's going to change with stuff in the future here. But I'm excited nonetheless. People have speculated May and June as launch days. People have also thought holiday, which I think is way too far out.
And with backwards compatibility, you can kind of consider Legend ZA to be a launch title for it almost.
It could be, like, and also like ZA
most likely coming around the same time.
Well, and yes, and they have the thing where they're like potentially trying to run the games better on Switch 2.
Yes.
Which is a thing. Maybe Scarlet and Violet will actually run on that hardware. So I don't know. I'm curious to know. Again, we'll find out so much more next week. But yeah. I want it now. Both the information and the console.
And the console.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about other games?
Yeah. What you got?
Well, you and I have both been playing Monster Hunter. Wild.
Have been playing is
a strong word. I grinded the Cricketune out of it for the first weekend, and then I've been very casual since then. I still haven't beaten the story. I'm like very close to the end of the story, but I haven't done it yet. But I'm
super not that.
Oh, okay. You're not close to the end of the story?
No, so because of my current gaming habits and just the fact that this game does not run on the Steam Deck, I don't really sit here and play games like I want to. Yeah. Or as much as I would like to. So the times that I had available for Monster Hunter was almost strictly the weekends. So the like first and second weekend that it was out. I played a bunch-ish. But I think I'm only like Hunter rank like 4 or 5. So like,
ooh, okay,
not that much.
A little back there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm behind. So I do want to play more. They have some update DLC thing coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm almost certain it's for endgame, so it won't affect me yet. But
yeah,
I have been a Dual Blades enjoyer. It has been a lot of fun. Yes. I am a glass cannon, but the fact that you just get to call NPCs to fight in your party is huge. They've just done everything that turned me off of Monster Hunter in the past has just been streamlined and made super convenient. Like, I didn't enjoy having to learn the entire map to hunt down a monster. Now I get to whistle and a dinosaur comes and takes me to it.
Yeah, that's super nice.
I didn't enjoy the food and sharpening, and like that's still there. Like, it's still there for the fans of the game of those mechanics in the game. But the food is super simple. You don't even have to play the little meat charring mini game anymore. You just choose choose a default. Like make a meal that gives me the buff, and you can sharpen your weapon while riding the dinosaur. So like all of these things are super easy, and I just get to go and fight the monster with a group of people, which is what I wanted to do in the first place.
Have you played multiplayer?
I have, yeah. Unfortunately, with some of my buddies who are way stronger than me.
Okay, sure.
So it was one of those things was like, yay, I'm killing things, and then it's dead already. Like, or I join them on their hunts and I die to one like random tail whap, and it has the same general problem as most of these dungeon crawlers do.
Yes.
When they become grindy looter. I'm not gonna call it shooter. I guess some people shoot, but.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a Diablo. It's almost Diablo-like in that way. Yeah. It's like you have to play with people who are close to your level, or they have to like really put on kid gloves to make it feel like you're having a good time, and then they're probably not.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would not mind people carrying me, but my main complaint for that was how obtuse it is to do. It was
a pain to get in a group with friends.
And we were all in a Discord call. Right group. Right? There's like 3 different types of groups there. So I've been sitting on this to a project. Again, I don't sit on my computer as much as I wish I did. I did a review for Wilds, a return review again. I just haven't actually put it out yet.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I recorded it all. I just have to edit it and put it out there, and it should be here soon. I should just sit down and do it. Maybe I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. Okay.
I should do it.
Well, now you've revealed that it exists, so now you have to.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's true. It will come out. Is it past the time where it should have been out? Absolutely. Will I do it anyway? Yes.
Yeah. So I will say there are problems with the game. Like apparently the hack check stuff on it is just
hack check.
Yeah, it's like kernel level. Apparently the reason that the game runs so poorly on PC is because of this like security stuff. This is what I've heard secondhand. Maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but it does chug on PC, and it is a very pretty game. So maybe that is just like mostly it like what it requires. But like I have multiple friends who've told me I would love to play this, but my computer physically cannot handle this, and I don't want to buy a PS5 for it. So like that does seem like a problem to me. And then the online play is like if you just want to play with randos, it's great. If you want to play with a specific group of people, it's clunky. But the core gameplay, like and like I was saying before, like it has a really good job of just funneling you to the core gameplay. And if all you want is to be able to kill the monster without the social aspect, then you can just fire your flare gun and NPCs will show up to help you out, right? So
yeah, that was one of the things that I wholeheartly agree. Like the map thing, the secret taking you to the places it needs to. Like the just streamline of it, like funneling the game, funneling you into gameplay is a good phrase.
Yeah, and once it funnels you there, it's really fun. It's like, and I've only learned this one weapon so far, right? Like, I understand that like most of these weapons are their own minigame, but dual blades are a really fun minigame, like multiple minigames. Like there's effectively 3 different buffed states that you have to like get to and maintain, and that whole time you can't guard, so you have to be dodging and like knowing when you can commit to a combo and when that's going to lock you into standing there and just getting smacked in the cricketune until you like it's.
So you're playing on your computer?
Yeah.
Mouse and keyboard?
No, with a controller, funny enough.
Okay.
Just plug my PS5 controller in. I had a hard time, I have a hard time with a lot of these games that have like complex controls on a keyboard unless I've like really played it for a long time. Like MMOs I can handle because I've been playing them forever and they're kind of slow. But I was just forgetting what did what on my keyboard, and once I got a controller, it felt really natural.
Yeah, so I've been playing mouse and keyboard. When I played Rise, I played mostly with controller, because Switch, and then when I had it on Steam Deck, and even here I have my controller on my computer. But for this, because of the focus system, which does effectively make this play a lot like an FPS game, I was at home
on a controller
with mouse and keyboard.
Oh yeah. If you're a shooter. I'm sorry. I know people who have the heretical opinion that shooters should be on console. So like that's
entirely there. Not everyone can be right. But and that was one of my biggest complaints about Rise. Rise was the first game I really got into for it. I played like an hour of World and couldn't. I just didn't.
Yeah.
But it felt really like when you're moving your hunter to attack and then they just kind of like completely whiff. There's no quick and easy way to like have them face the right way, even though like you see what's happening, but your character's like, I'm going in this direction. But with the focus mode with Wilds, it was so much better. So much a quick response, you can actually change where you're hitting, which is very nice. Even though I'm not playing a bow gun or either the range weapons, I'm playing Charge Blade, which is very fun. And it's better when you take your sword and shield and turn it into an FPS game. Just saying.
I can't even like fathom the game as a shooter because I'm just like constantly trying to like, oh god, is he gonna hit me? Is he gonna hit me? I better like run around and hit him from this side, and then like you get the wound open, and then I get to do the Levi like spiral across the full length of the lizard. Like it's a lot of. I'm having a great time with it. Honestly,
the wound system is fun. Dual blades is the other weapon. Dual blade and switch axe are the 2 other weapons I want to use.
I definitely want to learn some new ones.
Yeah. And I know like a bunch of my friends are dual blade. It seems like it's a very fun thing to play. Relatively easy mini game, maybe like not like they're all like you said. There's like 3 different layers of the game, and they all have like some wacky, complicated thing. So like easy entry, hard to master. Probably.
I think that's what it is. There's a low ceiling to it because you could on dual blade you can just mash light and heavy attack in some order and get some combo that works.
Right.
But the like you have a standard. Okay, I'm gonna forget now because I haven't played in a week, but there's demon and archdemon mode.
Okay, yep.
Demon mode is where you like activate a mode where you attack faster, but you lose stamina as you use it.
Yes.
And then archdemon mode is built up by attacking in demon mode. And once you reach full of that, you basically get the benefits of demon mode without being in it. Because
Okay.
you also, but you can also stack it on top of that. But if you dodge while in demon mode, you gain a third mode that I cannot remember what it is, but it turns your dodge into an attack.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And if you manage to stack all three, you are doing so much damage. And then once you have all three, and when you have any combination of them, you can go into a combo that does an obscene amount of damage, but you are locked into it for like 10 seconds or something stupid. So you have to choose the moment to really let it go. Like either when they're wounded on the ground, of course.
Right.
But you can if you start to get the patterns of the monster down, you can start doing it even when they're attacking. If you know like okay, he's stationary for this amount and I'm relatively safe in this spot, you can let it rip and like do a crazy amount like equivalent or more than the wound attacks.
Sure.
Attacks like just by letting loose this combo. But if you mess up, then you have no guard. You cannot even break the animation. You just die like on the spot.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, so very glass cannon, but I'm a fan of that.
The wound system is neat because you can kind of hotkey button your way into what looks like one of your like really fancy special moves, but I'm pretty sure it is just a weaker version of that move. And most of them, like I know for example the Charge Blade version of it. It's like, again, if there's levels to the mini games that these weapons are, the Charge Blade, like the wound attack is like a level 2 out of 4 or 5 tier attack, which is still cool. Don't get me wrong, and it every time feels great. It feels so good.
It's just very visceral. Like they
yeah.
There is something to having weight to your attacks. It's like
yes.
the numbers don't even matter. It just has to feel like you're hitting it hard, and then it's satisfying, and you want to just get back into the loop.
Yes, it is a very satisfying loop, even though it is very grindy, very...
That's almost the point, right?
It is. No, that's exactly what these games are meant to... You're... It's in the name. You're going to go hunt the monster.
Yeah. Okay, so slight tangent, but not fully. Basically, like... What got me into this is my buddy was telling me about Monster Hunter, and he's been playing them forever. I kind of gave up. I hadn't played one seriously since the PSP. So like a bunch of these convenience things might have been introduced at some point in the last couple decades, and I wouldn't have known. But
sure.
But the way he sold me on this, and he's correct, is that Monster Hunter is an evolution of Phantasy Star. Like, it genuinely is. It is a 4-person dungeon crawler where you hunt monsters for the minute chance that you get the part that you need to make the gear that you want, and once you fail to get it, you just do it again. And it's literally that. And you just and you're fighting the same monsters over and over again, and you're just improving your gear, but you're like laughing along with your friends as you do it. And it's kind of masochistic and grindy, but that's the point, and it's weirdly fun. And I finally got this tattoo over the weekend for Phantasy Star.
Yes, so I've never played Phantasy Star. I saw.
You probably shouldn't play any of the recent ones. Like the 2 is okay. 1 is like what 1 and the like expansions to 1 are what got people really addicted to it. Like it was the first online console game period, the first console MMO period. Mm-hmm. You had people were plugging their Dreamcast into dial-up modems to play this game online.
Right.
And I recently found out that there is a fan server for the most modern PSO1. Blue Burst was the final expansion that added an extra episode to it and a bunch of weapons and everything. And the official Sega servers were live when I was in middle school, and they got shut down when I was in high school because there were like 200 total people playing by the end of it. And there's like, this is costing us more than we're making in sub fees, so dead. But turns out some fans found it, reverse engineered the netcode, are running their own server. It's having its 10th anniversary this year.
Oh wow!
And there are more people playing it now than there were like by the time the servers died originally. So
yeah, I believe that.
So I got on there. I've been having a great time. Like it hasn't aged amazingly, and it's just like it needs nostalgia. Like I would, if I had never played it, I would 100% be playing Monster Hunter over this. But I have been having a good time with it, and it is the same kind of like it scratches the same itch.
Yeah. No, I knew I learned about it later in life. Didn't.
It is a historical game. It is something you play today, just because.
And I knew about the controller, the keyboard controller. I knew that existed.
Oh no!
Well.
And to be clear, I did not have that growing up. That was a Japan only thing.
Oh, was it really? I didn't know that part.
Ashton imported that for one of my birthdays.
Amazing.
From Japan. Yeah, that was the most expensive GameCube controller I've ever gotten, and that is saying something because I've had some customs made for Smash. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, no, it is a fun loop. It is a fun grind. It is that MMO style. Just you're beating the raid boss over and over again to try and get the drop.
Like an MMO kind of, right? Because I feel like there's a different feel to being in a group of 4 people hunting a monster versus like.
Yeah,
especially like modern MMO where there's like world bosses and you are because teaming up with 100 people, and this is a problem that like I gonna bring in my other games that I play all the time. Guild Wars has like an issue with this. Like I raid on Guild Wars and that's groups of 10, which is fine. That's pretty tight. That's kind of a similar vibe with 10 people, not fully the same, but like it's a small group. But the main gameplay loop for Guild Wars and a lot of modern MMOs now, like a lot of people actually copied this to some degree, but I'm sure it existed before too. Was like world bosses where you have everyone in the current instance of that world can in theory team up to fight a big boss, and that's almost like you're playing with NPCs. Like I think the phrase I've heard is playing together alone, because there's so many people that you lose any meaningful connection with them because it's just this mob of strangers who are also whacking this thing with such a massive health bar that you can't. Like the health bar is so big that you cannot make out when your attacks are damaging it.
Sure.
Because if they were to allow you to do enough damage that your one attack made a noticeable difference to its bar, then it would die too quickly.
Yeah.
So that's way, way different from like a group of 4 where your actions matter. Like you have impact. When you hit the thing really hard, you actually chunk it. And yeah, Monster Hunter doesn't have health bars, but like you can see it being damaged. So that's a whole other thing, right?
You have wound.
Yeah. And it bleeds and it limps and it like all of that stuff is kind of cool and like kind of unique to Monster Hunter as well. But yeah,
it's really cool that they do take that aspect of it, right? The gamification of having a health bar, they take it away entirely and say, hey, you have to actually watch movements. We're gonna design code and model the movements of this monster.
I've seen people mod in health bars like you are ruining the game. Like I was like, you do you. I won't yuck anybody's yum, but I feel like you were defeating the purpose here.
A little bit. There's, the art and design of Monster Hunter is not health bars. Yeah. I had other things, but I think if I keep thinking more about topics, it is just gonna be excitement for Switch 2. I haven't played any other video game. That's not true. I played a lot of 2 Point Museum. We're talking about that a little bit before. Fun management stuff. A very, very fun game. You said you were interested in it. Have you looked at it at all?
Is that the university one?
It's the same company, the game. The newest one is the museum.
This is another one where I have a lot of nostalgia for Roller Coaster Tycoon, but I don't know that I would get into other Tycoon games in current year.
Yeah, I liked like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I also, funny enough, did you ever play Lemonade Stand Tycoon?
No.
It was like I think a mobile game, maybe. I don't know, but
that checks out.
Same concept, and it was annoyingly fun. But I think it's off. I've not found it in years, so that's a different thing. But I didn't really think I'd like the management sim style for these games. But then I played them, and I was like,
you get it.
I get it. It's fun. Plays well on Steam Deck. Plays better on the computer. But they're fun to play, and like you can like chill out and do like sit on the couch and watch something and play this at the same time for the most part, which is nice. Which is how I played most of them. But yeah, that's the only other thing I've really played. Yeah. I haven't had a lot of time to game or do much.
Yeah, I empathize. Being an adult sucks.
Adulting sucks. Can we just not?
Yeah. Well, we have the money to buy the games, just not the time to play them. So, it's one or the other.
Time, energy, money.
The real way to be is a rich child.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you can pull that one off, that's a smarter move for sure.
That's what I want to do when I grow up.
Maybe try that.
Yeah. I'll give that a shot next month, maybe.
Okay.
Wait. when we find out when the Switch 2 comes out, the next day I'll start
working on that. Okay.
being that. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into it.
Cool.
Go in full bore.
Do we want to call it there?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's been fun. We will maybe get back. I'm not gonna even say that we will. We will think about potentially maybe getting back onto a schedule for episodes, but there will be a lot to talk about here soon. And in like 2 or 3 weeks, all three of us are gonna be in the same place.
It's true. NAIC.
No, Atlanta.
Atlanta, right? I live there.
Yeah. Last time
I lost track of who's going to what now. Are you are braving it for sure?
Yeah, I'm not driving this time.
Oh, you're flying this time. Okay, good.
Yeah. I got my cheap airline tickets.
Well, I mean, I'll give you, if you take Marta into the town, I'll give you a ride to where you're staying.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. I'll take you up on that. I'll let you. We'll details later. But last time that the three of us got together, we ended up in a hot tub for an episode.
That was hot. Yeah.
We're not doing that again. But we will record something in person, the three of us, because it'll be super fun, and we have the means to do it. But beyond that, yeah, it's an episode. I've been Harrison. You can find me at @row_ixon on all the social stuff. And yeah, here. Sometimes I might post something that's not the podcast. Who's to say? Not me. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find me nowhere. I don't exist. No,
Atlanta.
You can find me in Atlanta, maybe. Yeah. No, I'm on Twitter. I'm on other Twitter. Rowan W Hall. Rowan Hall. I'm kind of not on a lot of, like, barely posting at this point. So, but yeah, come talk to me.
Social media is depressing because it's really watching the world burn right now.
It is.
Together we've been the Game Corner. You can find us at the Game Corner, part of the Game Corner VGC on places, but most importantly, all of our links down below. Thank you to RobKTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner, off the Ultraball album. Whatever, all of our stuff's there. You'll find us. Thank you for listening and hanging out for an hour-ish. But, for the next couple of days, when you're not watching upcoming Nintendo Directs or playing with Cat and Laser Pointer, no matter what you decide to play, press start and game on. Bye!